There's a lot that goes into deciding when and how often you should be posting to Pinterest. But luckily, there is research and tools that we can use to narrow down the data so that we can figure out the best times, days, and amount that we should be posting on Pinterest. The first thing that I did to find out more about this topic was to ask the experts, also known as Google. So when is the best time to schedule a Pinterest pin? I found a co-scheduled blog post that breaks down all social media platforms, but most importantly, Pinterest. They did an analysis of more than 35 million posts to gather this research. And the summary of what they found is the best times to post on Pinterest are 12 p.m., 6:17 p.m., which is weird, and 8:02 p.m., which is very weird and specific, on Friday, Tuesday, and Thursday. But they also did a bigger breakdown, so let's check that out as well. They have the best time to post on Pinterest are what we already said. The hour-long periods are the best here, which are the same as above. The worst periods are here, and the best days to post on Pinterest are Friday, Tuesday, and Thursday. The worst are Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. They also have on here the top best times to post on Pinterest to generate the best engagement, and there is just a ton of different information on here that you can look up. So I will leave a link to this blog post down below if you want to do more research into it. It is going to take a little bit to get through, but really all of the information here is really good, so it's worth it. And all this information is great, but we really don't know what time zones these are actually set in, because I'm currently in Eastern Standard Time Zone here in the US, and I don't know if these are all in Eastern Standard Time Zone or if they are just a general time for everyone. So this is still a bit of a guessing game if you use this information. And there's a better way to get times to match your specific audience by using Google Analytics. I just learned this trick the other day and it is so useful. You can go into the search bar in Google Analytics and type in best day Pinterest, and it will give you a top day of the week by sessions. So you can see it's not in order here. It goes in order by the graph here. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Friday are best for me. So for me, the best days that I want to be posting for sure is Monday and Tuesday. Now it's still good to post every single day on Pinterest, but this will give you an idea of the days that you for sure need to be pinning if you can't pin every single day. Or let's say, for example, your Sunday is really low and you only get about 60 sessions a day. Maybe you want to skip that day and don't even bother pinning. It's really up to you depending on what the analytics show. Now this covers the days, but what about the times? You can also type in best time of day Pinterest as well, and you can get the hour here. I don't really understand what's going on here. Maybe it's like on a 24-hour clock, which is why we have 22 and 20 here and 19. So this is a little bit more confusing, and I don't really think the report is going to help us much, which is why I prefer to use users by time of day on Google Analytics instead. So if you scroll down, you will see this box that says users by time of day, and you can see the graph of the blue getting gradually darker, which tells you the darker the blue is, the more people are on your site at that specific time. Now this obviously is relative to your site and not necessarily relative to Pinterest, but if you are getting a good majority of traffic from Pinterest, then this is telling you when your audience is active on Pinterest and clicking over to your blog. Or this is just telling you when your audience is active online and active on your site, which is a good metric to go by. So what can we take away from all of that information? Because my audience is going to be different than your audience due to time zones and a bunch of other different factors depending on who you are targeting in your audience age-wise and what they have going on. So the best time for me may not be the best time for you. And on top of that, your audience may be in a different time zone than you as well. So that's another factor that you need to consider. So you can use Google Analytics to see the most popular countries that are coming to your blog. For example, my best country is the United States where I live, but you can also see my second best is India, and they are on a totally different time zone than I am. The main thing is just diving into these Google Analytics. Don't be afraid to get in there and study what is working for you so that you can capitalize on what's working and improve on what's not working. But what if you're brand new and you don't have much data to go off of? In that case, I would look at the co-schedule blog posts that I have linked down below in the description and try and use some of those best times, but also feel free to just kind of pin randomly in the beginning because you don't have a lot of data to go off of, so you don't know when your best times are. And if you are only pinning at 2, 4, and 6 every single day, your best time might be 3 and 10, and you have no idea because you've never pinned at those times. It's about experimenting and getting enough data so that you will have enough to be able to study and refine. Now you may be wondering, does it even matter what time I pin onto Pinterest? And yes, it does. And to understand why it matters, you have to understand the way that Pinterest will distribute your pins once they are posted. When you post a new pin onto Pinterest, the first thing Pinterest will do is send it out to your followers. If your followers respond positively to your pin by clicking on it to get a close-up, going through to your website and staying a while, or repinning it, then they will send it out to a wider audience outside of your following. Your followers are essentially Pinterest's testers. They are testing to see if the pin is going to do well with the people who already know they like your content because they're following you. They want to test how the pin will do with that loyal audience before they send it out to the masses. And if it does well, the more reach it will continually get outside of your own audience. But if it doesn't get good interaction from your followers, then your pin is essentially DOA, dead on arrival. Have you ever wondered why some of your pins pop off right out of the gate and some of them just never seem to take off? There are a ton of factors that could be the reason why, but one of them could be the time you are pinning. So that's why you want to pin when your audience is most active online, because they have the most chance to interact with that pin and help it do better in the algorithm. Now that we know the times that we should post, how many pins should we be putting out each day? And the biggest thing to remember here is that there is no real magic number that is going to give you the perfect amount of pins to post each day. However, we do have a specific range that we should be staying in. The key to Pinterest marketing success is consistency, whatever that means for you. If you can only post 2 pins a day, but you know that you can do that for months to come, then that is how many pins that you should be posting. If you can pin 8 pins a day, but you know that you can do that for months to come, then that is how many pins you should be posting. But overall, for new pinners or just the general Pinterest audience, I always recommend between 2 to 5 new pins posted to the platform a day. How do I know this? Because that is the most common range of pins that I get requested to make when I am hiring on a Pinterest management client. Out of all the Pinterest management clients that I've had, the most common amount of pins that they want me to post is 2, 3, and 5 pins a day. Plus, that is just a smaller amount of pins that will make it easier for you to keep up with long term. So if you're anywhere in that range, you are doing fine. But if you would like to post more, in order to stay out of the Pinterest spam filter, I wouldn't be posting more than 10 pins a day. Now that we know that, what types of pins should you be pinning onto Pinterest? There are a lot of different things that you can pin onto the platform. But one thing that you need to remember overall is all of these pins should be fresh pins. I've talked about this a lot, so I'm sure you know what I mean, but just in case, a fresh pin is when something is completely new to the Pinterest platform. So a new link, a new pin design, a new description, and a new title. However, you can also have a fresh pin with an old link as long as everything else about that pin is new. The most popular pin on Pinterest, and the one that you should be pinning the most of, is text pins. These are just the static pins that you see all over the platform. You can also create list pins or infographic pins. These are pins that are essentially just a static pin, but they have a little bit more information on the pin. It is not just a blog post title. There's a little bit more of an infographic there. And the reason that these are good is because people will stop on these pins longer and they want to get a close-up of it so that they can read all of the information on your pin. And if the information is good, they may click over to your blog post to learn even more about that topic. Image pins are another option, but they won't work for everyone's niche. These are the best in the cooking, travel, or fashion niche, or anything like that where you are going to be showing off an outfit, a place you were traveling, or a dish that you've cooked. You could also do a video pin. These will either be the animated things that you can do in Canva to your pins, or you can actually post a video onto Pinterest. The last and newest type of Pinterest pin is an idea pin. Now these can work really well in the video format, but you can also do a static pin or an animated pin as well. To learn more about Pinterest and their best practices, check out this video right here, and I'll see you next week. Bye!